What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Rise Up Rundown, and if you're new here, welcome. So the plan was to make my second mock draft for Tuesday, but two things got in the way. One, this is my last week of school, so I do want to put all my focus on that and make sure I do well. And the other thing was, I looked at the previous mock draft I made. There's not really a whole lot I want to change anyway. It's kind of like a if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of deal. I'm kind of happy with the mock draft I had before, so I don't really know why I would change it, to be honest with you. But yeah, let's instead answer some mailbag questions for today. And then on Thursday, I will be live streaming the NFL, well, I won't live stream the draft, but I'll just live stream my reaction to whoever the Falcons draft, and I'll count that as Friday's episode, so stay tuned for that. But let's get into your mailbag questions starting right now. Let's get it started with football films. It is probably too late for tomorrow's episode, but can you give a few thoughts about Sean Payton's 28-3 tweet? It's Sean Payton. I don't necessarily take anything he says seriously because the guy is a dummy, but if I could give out a few thoughts, I'm just going to say Minneapolis Miracle, pass interference, and the Vikings win again in the playoffs. Those are my few thoughts. Football Films also ask, Falcons are spending $46 million of their cap space on offensive linemen. Do you think that they are wasting their money based on the production of the line? I know we have a few good players on the line, but not a ton. I don't think they're wasting it because the O-line is important. And they're trying to do everything they can to make sure Matt Ryan is protected because, yeah, let's face it, whether you like it or not, if Matt Ryan goes down, our team is done. This is no Nick Foles is going to lead the team all the way to a Super Bowl even though he's a backup quarterback story. No, it's just, I'm sorry, it's not the same thing with Matt Schaub or literally anyone else will get if we draft another quarterback, which I don't think we will, but look, Matt Ryan needs to be protected at all costs. Plus, we need to get the running game going. So, I don't really think they're wasting their money. Do they need to get more defensive players? Sure, but I think they are doing that with Dante Fowler. And gosh, please, can we get Javon Kinlaw? Can we please get some defensive players? So, I don't think they're wasting money. Rise Up ATL ask, I got them questions. 1, how many jerseys did you buy and are you in poverty yet? Not gonna lie, I actually didn't get any jerseys yet, but I know who I want to get. But simply, I'm just kind of trying to save money at the moment. Number 2, should we trade up for Jeff Okudah or Isaiah Simmons? I would trade up for Jeff Okudah because, well, he's the best corner in the draft. But would I trade up for Isaiah Simmons? It's not that I think Isaiah Simmons is a bad player. He probably will do good in the NFL. But I would not get Isaiah Simmons because he, I credit to Matt Mike. I didn't find this myself, but in his video, what he says is something I completely agree with. If you didn't see it, check it out. He goes off to say that, we have to have a set position for a player. And that was the problem with Vic Beasley. Like, he didn't really have a set position. That's why he didn't exactly do great. And Isaiah Simmons, we don't exactly know his set position. And if he's going to be with Dan Quinn, I don't want him to be a bust in Atlanta because he doesn't have a set position. So I would not get Isaiah Simmons unless you know for certain he's going to play linebacker only or safety, whatever you want to put him at. So I personally would not get Isaiah Simmons unless you put him at a set position. And 3, when is your live stream starting on Thursday for the draft? P.S. In the stream, if I say any bad words, don't find them offensive because they are just a joke. It's all good, man. I don't really know when it's going to start, but I'll probably update you guys on the community tab when I start it. Owen Weatherly asks, who do you think is the perfect fit for the Falcons in the first round? Javon freaking Kinlaw. I don't think I need too much of an explanation for that. Pass rush is much needed for the Falcons. Javon Kinlaw is, in my opinion, the answer. Some people will say Derek Brown. I like Derek Brown, but I just think Javon Kinlaw is a better player, simply put. So, yeah, I would get Javon Kinlaw. Now, if Javon Kinlaw is taken, then, yeah, get Derek Brown. But if he's not taken, get Javon Kinlaw. Football Films ask, along with the questions from earlier, this is unrelated to the Falcons. Do you think that Bill O'Brien could trade J.J. Watt to the Steelers for a cheese sandwich and 7 grapes? That would mean that all the Watt brothers are on the same team. Derek went to the Steelers recently. It's Bill O'Brien. Literally anything is possible. So, you want to put more thought into why the answer should be no. Like, Bill O'Brien wouldn't do that, but it's like, no. The answer is yes, because he's Bill O'Brien. Ruben Falcon asks, who would you like the Falcons to draft if they're going for corner, Henderson or Okudah? And I like your videos. Thank you, man. If Okudah is still available, yeah, I'd get Okudah, but let's just be honest here. Jeffrey Okudah is going to be taken early in the draft. So I guess I would get CJ Henderson just because Okudah is going to be gone. But if he somehow is not taken, I would get Okudah. Rishi Mohan asks, when are the White Julio youth and adult jerseys coming in? How many mock drafts do you have planned, and what jersey did you get? Well, I don't really know about the youth and adult jerseys. Not really sure about that. How many mock drafts? I was gonna make 2, but the first one I made, I'm not gonna lie, there wasn't really a whole lot I wanted to change, so I just kind of think I'll stick with that one. And then how many jerseys do I want to get? I don't have any at the moment, but I want to get like 4 maybe. Like Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Grady Jarrett, and Todd Gurley. Maybe 5 with, what's his name? Calvin Ridley. Dominique Robinson asks, what do you think about Hayden Hurst? Is he an upgrade? Yeah, I think he's an upgrade. At first, I was like, gosh, we cannot lose Austin Hooper. He is like a key player on this team, but all of a sudden it doesn't really look like it was that big of a loss because Hayden Hurst is an upgrade to Austin Hooper. I think Hayden Hurst is more athletic. He's got better hands. Hayden Hurst can just do more than Austin Hooper. Now, is Hayden Hurst gonna be like the best player on our team? No, but he's a good player and I think he is an upgrade. Atlanta Falcons ask, hey bro, do you believe if we draft Chasen with our first round pick, it would be a waste of a pick? Personally, I do. I don't believe the hype on him. He'll be another bust in my opinion. We need to get Kinlaw if we want to improve our pass rush. Also, after Epenesa's 40-yard dash time of 5.03 seconds, he was dropped out of being picked up in the first round. Can we capitalize on him falling in the draft and get 2 pass rushers early on? Personally, I don't care about his 40 time. All that matters to me is that he can get to the quarterback and get sacks, which he is very capable of doing. Oh, and what jersey did you get? I got a Todd Gurley one. Let me know your thoughts, bro. As always, rise up from Australia. Rise up, my man. As for jerseys, I didn't exactly get any yet, but I would love to get, like I said, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Grady Jarrett, and did I say Todd Gurley earlier? I'm pretty, if I didn't, I would love to get Todd Gurley. And also Calvin Ridley. AJ Epinesa, the likelihood of us getting Javon Kinlaw and AJ Epinesa is not exactly likely, but if he is available, I actually still wouldn't necessarily get him, because, you know, I don't want every draft pick to be on pass rush. I feel like if we got Javon Kinlaw, that's, I wouldn't say good enough, but it's just good for now at pass rush because we already got Grady Jarrett and Dante Fowler. Tyler Davison is actually a solid defensive lineman. So I think instead of getting AJ Epinesa, that's when we get another corner. But I don't know. That's just my thought. And then if we got Chasen with in the first round, I do believe that's a bust. I am not really the biggest believer in him. Look, he's fine. He uses his speed to his advantage, and like I get it. He's a quick, athletic player, but in my opinion, he's too undersized. Thomas Dimitroff would like have a stroke with hearing that he's an undersized defensive lineman because that's all he ever gets is undersized defensive linemen, but that's not what I want, so I would pass on him. Kale the Falcons fan asks, do you think that we can beat all the NFC South teams this year? Yeah, I think we can. We'll sweep the Panthers. We can beat the Saints at least once. And same with the Bucks. We might even sweep them. But it's Tom Brady. You gotta give respect to where it's due. That'll be a bigger challenge than Jameis Winston. So, yeah, I think we can beat them all at least once. Hayden Hughes asks, I don't personally believe we need to draft a quarterback, But if it's the 3rd through 5th rounds of the draft, which of these quarterbacks would you consider to back up Matt Ryan? Jacob Eason, Jalen Hurts, Jake Fromm, or Anthony Gordon? If we did draft one, we could potentially move on from Matt Schaub and the rest of the quarterbacks, and if the Falcons really like Schaub and want him to stay, he could become a quarterback assistant coach. Not a bad idea, because Matt Schaub, look, no, he's not a great quarterback, but he knows what he's doing out there, so I wouldn't really mind him as a quarterback coach. Will that happen? I mean, probably not, but, I mean, you never know. And I do not think the Falcons are going to get quarterback. It's kind of rumored that they will, but I would not expect them to get a quarterback. I think that would be kind of a waste of a pick. But who would I get? I personally would get Jacob Eason. Jacob Eason, I think, has a rocket arm. You know, I think he's a solid player, and that's who I would get for backup quarterback. It's Romeo 8365 _YT ask, do you think the Falcons will be at least second in the division? Yeah, I think they could be second. I think that's at the very least. At the very least, we'd be second. At the very most, we'd be first in the division. Mondo Torre asked, if we do trade it for Isaiah Simmons, who would you be comfortable with packaging one of our safeties, linebackers with a pick to move up in the first? Again, I would be okay taking away, I hate to say it, but I kind of would be okay with taking away either or with our safeties. Like either Keanu Neal or Ricardo Allen. I'm not as high on them as everyone else is. Like, they're fine players. I'm not saying they're bad. I would rather have them than, you know, most other safeties, but I just personally think they're not as good as everyone makes them out to be. Now, if it wasn't one of our safeties, I would just move on from Foye Oluokun. But, no. I wouldn't really mind trading any safety. You know, they're great players, but I just don't think they're as good as everyone makes them out to be, but that's just my opinion. Now, would I trade it for Isaiah Simmons at all? Nope, not at all. I just would not do that. Alexander Y. Lee asked, there are multiple rumors saying that the Falcons might draft Henry Riggs at number 16. How would you feel about this? I would not like that. We need to get a better player than him. Kale, the Falcons fan, asked, who's the best quarterback in the NFC South? Oh my gosh, it's not even a question. Matt Ryan. Tom Brady, historically, is a great quarterback. Statistically, he's got all the stats. He's got all the Super Bowl rings. Same with Drew Brees. And then Panthers just suck. But if you watch on film and you watch who is better right now, I'm not talking about in years past. I'm talking about right now. Matt Ryan is the best quarterback in the league. Or not in the best in the league, the best in the NFC South. Best quarterback in the league is Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, Matt Ryan is the best quarterback in the NFC South. GD Myth1C9 asked, there are rumors that the Falcons will trade Matt Ryan to the Texans in exchange for Deshaun Watson. Is this a good idea? I don't think it is. Nope, I don't think it is either. Now, if Matt Ryan just retires all of a sudden like an Andrew Luck type of deal, then I guess go ahead, but that's not going to happen. I just don't think that's a good idea. Dom Kennedy Harris asked, can we afford to send the house draft picks for Simmons, a generational talent? Can he be our Julio Jones of the defense? Like I said, look, Isaiah Simmons is fine, but he does not have a set position. I would not go for Isaiah Simmons because Dan Quinn, as we saw with Vic Beasley, and it's not just with Vic Beasley. Look at Minka Fitzpatrick with the Dolphins. They couldn't really figure out his position, and he struggled. But now that the Steelers found his one position at safety, now he's doing pretty good. Isaiah Simmons, we don't really know his set position yet. And Dan Quinn is not the best at trying to figure out a certain position for players that do not have a set position. So I would not get Isaiah Simmons, in my opinion. Sean O'Connor asked, is Matt Ryan a potential Hall of Famer? Absolutely. I think he's got the stats, and a lot of people are going to say he can't go in because he doesn't have any Super Bowl rings. Unfortunately, that is reality nowadays, but I think he should get in. Raptor 2.0 asked, if Henderson and Kinlaw are both gone at pick 16, do we draft Fulton or trade back with a team? I would, wow, that's a great question. I guess I would trade with a team just to kind of think about it. Like, okay, the players we wanted are gone. Let's kind of get some time to think about this, and then hopefully one of the players that we want is still available. Atlanta Falcons 11 ask, "Hi Logan, congrats on hitting 2K. I am a big Falcons fan from Germany, and I love your videos. Keep up the great work, bro." Thank you, sir. My questions are, 1, do you think it should be the most important for the Falcons in the first round to draft Javon Kinlaw? Absolutely. That is the most important thing the Falcons should do. If they do not do that, they better find a good enough player that's like Javon Kinlaw, because I just think Javon Kinlaw is the best option for us. Number 2, do you think we can get Kinlaw with our 16th pick, or do we have to trade up for him? I can't speak today. Trade up for him, rise up from Germany, rise up from Central Florida. When I was doing the mock draft online, apparently no team wanted Javon Kinlaw, so I guess you could get Javon Kinlaw at pick 16. I'm not exactly sure if that's really the case, but when I did it online, he was at 16, so I just went ahead and got him. But I guess we can stay put there. KG Tim asks, "How good do you think Atlanta will be?" At best, 10 wins. At worst, 7 wins. That Sports Guy 15 asks, "Should we draft Jonathan Greener out of Florida in the 3rd round of the draft? He's a linebacker who had 9.5 sacks and an interception last season." Why not? You need linebacker help all the way, and I think he's a good player. Now, yeah, he's a player from Florida. A lot of players from Florida seemingly kind of struggle when they first get into the NFL, but I think he'll be fine. Commit Die asks, "Do you think that Jeff Okudah is still a possibility if the rumors are true? And do you think if Akers fell to the 3rd round, it would be worth it to try and bring a running back to back up Gurley as running back 2? As for Akers, I guess if he's available in the 7th round, which that's not going to happen, but if he is, go ahead and get him. 3rd round, look, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not getting a running back early in the draft. A lot of people really want to get a running back early. That's just, in my opinion, not a good idea. You can find so many good running backs. And look, Cam Akers is great. Jonathan Taylor is great. DeAndre Swift is great. I get it. But look, running back is so replaceable, and plus Dirk Cutter is not going to know how to use them anyway. So we need to figure out the running game with the offensive coordinator first before we get a running back. And then if Jeff Okudah is still available, if those are true, I don't think it is true, but I hope it's true. Matt Brad asks, "What are the Falcons going to do with the 4 good safeties on the squad? KZ, Allen, Neal, and Cyprian." I'm gonna be honest, I'm not feeling too optimistic on them yet. I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons need a safety either this year's draft or next year, because I'm not really feeling super great about them. Cyprian, I don't really have an opinion on him yet, to be honest with you. Keanu Neal just kind of gets injured, but he's also a hard hitter, so maybe we can move him to linebacker. I don't know. You never know. Ricardo Allen, I've made my point on him clear. I just don't think he's that good, but he is pretty good. And then DeMonte KZ is fine. But what are the Falcons going to do with the safeties? They'll probably keep them for the year. And I think they could have a solid year if Dan Quinn steps up, but that's just my opinion. Zachary Stone asks, "Are you going to live stream your reaction to the draft?" Absolutely. I don't know what time it's going to be, but I am going to live stream the draft. I'll let you know on the community tab. Jackson Welch asks, "Hey bro, just started following your channel, and man, I am a big fan. One day I would love to sit down and just talk football." Thank you, sir. Anyways, can you give me your opinion on my mock draft? In my mock draft for the 1st round, we would trade Ito Smith, Tack McKinley, and a 2021 6th round pick. We would receive the trade up from some team, and also there are 2026 round pick. With that 1st round pick, we would draft a defensive tackle, edge player, either one. We would draft CJ Henderson, 16th overall. 2nd round, we draft Trevon Diggs. 3rd round, we get Kenneth Murray. 4th round, we draft Darius Anderson or Cam Akers. I would rather have Anderson, but either way. The other 4th round pick, we draft Ben Cleveland to beef up left guard. With that 6th round pick, we get Amik Robertson. Finally, in the 7th round, we either trade away for draft picks the next year or draft Kenny Willekes from Michigan State. Maybe sign Brian Harrion in free agency after draft. Or sign Shea Patterson to learn from Matt. Also J.R. Reed maybe.
Possibly we could throw KJ Halmer in one of those picks, but probably not. So much to think about before draft starts, but that is my mock draft. Also, maybe throw AJ Terrell in there or another pass rusher. Any opinions? Again, big fan of your channel. Well, there's a lot of names. I mean, I liked most of the picks. I liked the Trevon Diggs in the second round. I also like CJ Henderson in the first round, but at the same time, I still would maybe get a pass rusher first. I disagree with the running back situation, like with Cam Akers. I'm not getting a running back early in the draft. I'm sorry, that's just not me. But I do agree with getting a guard in the fourth, and then the other picks, like in the 6th and 7th round, it's kind of like, well, we need depth, so why not get them? I think it's a good mock draft. I just would get pass rusher first, and I would save running back for later on. Omar Jackson asks, will Dante Fowler get 23.5 sacks this season to break Michael Strahan's record? Well, I love Dante Fowler, but I'm going to be honest, he is not that good of a pass rusher, so I don't think he's going to get 23.5 sacks, but I do think he can get double-digit sacks, like 11.5. Ghost Peppers asks, let's just say the Falcons wanted to trade up to the 6th spot in the draft. They probably would also have to give up picks 16, 47, 20, 21, 1st, 2nd, 4th. If the Falcons make such a trade, the only wise decision to do is to trade back for more picks. So many holes don't get left unattended. Your thoughts? I agree. I don't care how stacked your roster is, you gotta have picks. Like, if you don't have picks, then you're just kind of screwed. Like, you need to have picks no matter how good your team is. So, yes, I agree, we need to trade back. Speed Falcons for Life asks, do you think Isaiah Oliver and Kendall Sheffield can be our cornerbacks for the future? Rise up. As for Kendall Sheffield, he's fine. I just need to give him a little more time. Isaiah Oliver, you guys know my take on him. I'm not super high on him yet, but I'll give him another shot for 2020. If he works out, great. If he doesn't, then move on. Dominique Robinson asks, how long do you think Todd Gurley will last? I love the videos. Keep it up. Thank you, sir. That's a good question, like, because he's only signed to a 1-year deal. If he sucks this year, yeah, he's out. But if he's good, I mean, gosh, including this year, I guess he would last 3 years with us. 3 years, I think that sounds about right. Like, if he does good this year, he would last for us 2 or 3 years, including this one. So 2020, 2021, maybe 2022. We'll see. But if he sucks this year, then he's gone. Kale the Falcons fan asks, 1 out of 10, how was our free agency? I would give it an 8. I think we didn't overpay anyone. We released players that we needed to release, like Devontae Freeman, Vic Beasley. We got Hayden Hurst after releasing Austin Hooper. We got Dante Fowler, and we got Todd Gurley. The only one I wasn't really sure if I agreed with it was Desmond Trufant. Like, I thought he still should have been given a chance, but whatever. I guess they're looking at a corner in the draft. Quentin Hesse asks, do you think we will trade up in the top 10 of the draft? Probably. Thomas Dimitrov really loves to trade up. Who will we trade up with? I'm not exactly sure, to be honest with you, but I don't know. It sounded like he wants to trade up. Speed Falcons for Life asks, what do you think about fans not showing up to games? And pretty much the seats are always empty when you go to a Falcons game. Why is that? Unfortunately, it's just, if your team sucks, they're not going to show up. If they're good, they're going to show up. And they're going to, say, oh, I need to save money. And that is true, but at the same time, I thought you were a loyal fan. Like, but anyway, can't do much about that. If your team sucks, the stadium and the home crowd sucks. If they're good, it'll be the opposite. So, unfortunately, we can't exactly do much about that. Lamont Waldron asks, trade Matty Ice for can't speak today. I'm sorry about that. Deshaun Watson. Just kidding, but how do you feel? If Matt Ryan retires out of nowhere, I'm fine with it, but if not, that's just a terrible idea. Ghost Peppers asks, fans keep saying the games Falcons won after the bye week are worthless. Apparently, they don't know. If the Falcons had lost those games, Thomas Dimitrov wouldn't be worrying about the draft right now because he would have been fired. So all in all, those games were in fact meaningful for both Thomas Dimitrov and Dan Quinn. Fans that keep saying the Falcons should have lost on purpose isn't a realistic point of view because no way in hell should Thomas Dimitrov and Dan Quinn commit occupational suicide just to make fans happy. Your thoughts? Agreed. First off, are you serious? Like, to anyone that thinks we should just go out there and lose, like, no one does that. And second, I do agree. No one's gonna want to play for a team that doesn't want to win. I mean, look at Joe Burrow. Like, he there's like this rumor that he doesn't even want to play for the Bengals because the Bengals didn't want to win games. You gotta win games. It's just, why would you play for a team that doesn't want to win games? It's so obvious. Like, I totally agree. You gotta win games. At Atlanta Falcons FB ask, should the Falcons trade up in the draft? The only reason I would trade up is because I would want to get another corner. Like, if Javon Kinlaw, if you know he's going to be taken, then trade up to get him, and then hopefully you can find some way to trade up again in the first round to get a corner. I'm not really sure if that was a great strategy there, but yeah. Anyway, should they? Only if Javon Kinlaw / if one of the corners they want in the first round, they know for certain they're going to be taken. At Jack B 1872 ask, has our defense improved from last season, or has it gotten worse? It definitely got better. Dante Fowler, I know I'm super high on him. We got a great roster all around us. We just need to improve the secondary, and then I think we're good. Mike Jens asked, the Lions and Giants said they might trade away their picks. Do you think we should trade up with them? I guess I would not, actually, because you're just kind of trading away a lot of picks. Unless there's a player that you know is going to help your team and you feel they're going to be taken before us, I guess go ahead and do it, because 2020 is the year where we got to get it figured out. So I guess that's the only reason why I would trade up, but other than that, I guess I would stay put. Mike Jens also asked, do you think Calvin Ridley is underrated? Yes, I do. He is an underrated receiver. He's the best wide receiver number 2 in the league. And I think he's going to have a great year. He'll probably get 800 and 900 yards again. He might even get like 13 touchdowns. He's a ball hawk. And I think he's a good player. He's definitely underrated. And those are all the mailbag questions for today. I thank you guys for tuning in. Tune in Thursday, actually, for my live stream. And you will see my live reaction to whoever the Falcons get in the draft. I'll also just kind of chat with you guys Falcons football. So if you have more questions, just ask me from there. Hope to see you guys there. I will see you guys there, not on Friday, but on Thursday at whatever time I'll announce on the community tab. As always, rise up.